Hello.
Top 5 at 5. Educating. Empowering. Entertaining. We are the top 5.
Am I the only one that loves or they always cut me off? I'm like, it's like I'm frozen. Hey ladies, how are you?
Hello,
Wait,
hello. Great. How are you doing this evening?
we are good. We're good. Like and share for those who are watching us. Like and share, like and share. How's everybody doing? How's everybody? I didn't get to see who was our first guest today. Who was the first person decided?
Oh,
I think it's Patricia.
Patricia
Yeah,
Cornwall.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
From Canada. Oh, Lordy. Hello, Miss Cornwall. Hello, and thank you for joining us. Hello, hello, hello. Ladies, what a guan?
How you doing?
Oh, what a week.
What a week, right?
What a week. For those that are joining us, we have a great show lined up. So I want you to like and share. Tell us where you're joining us from. I see Patricia from Canada. Thank you, Patricia, for joining us. Doris, Maureen, Charles. And I'm just distracted, first of all, by Victoria's gorgeous sweater. Like, you're doing the whole vibe, Victoria. I'm sorry.
I know Victoria have to give us a discount where we're getting an oversized, comfy holiday sweaters.
It's cute. It's cute.
Yeah.
I'm putting my address in the link. Mo, can you post my address so Victoria ships me her sweater? Can somebody post my address in the link? All right. So, ladies, it's another blessed Sunday, and aren't we fortunate to be alive? For those you that are joining us, join us. P. Angela Anderson, thank you. Jennifer Lessie, thank you. Orlando, Florida in the house. New Jersey in the house. Where are my Jamaican peeps at? Like, I'm always outnumbered on this show. Where are my Jamaican people at?
I'm not that outnumbered, Diani. You know, I'm half.
Half. Okay, I love it. We're gonna claim all of you. So it's another Sunday, top 5 at 5. It's a favorite part of my Sunday. Thank you for sharing, Patricia Cornwall. And we have 4 beautiful, gorgeous, talented, inspiring Caribbean women on screen. And today's a special Sunday because today we're doing a call to action for our little daughter, Kalyan, from the island of Jamaica. We're going to talk later on to Kalyan's mother. But in the meantime, I want everybody to get their wallets and purse, get the coins out, go into the kitchen, take out the credit card, go into the freezer, take out the money when you put in the freezer, because today is not about talk. Today is about action. We also have a special guest, Miss Cleopatra, who's going to join us. She's hosting for Kalyan, who's out today. And we have Landy, who will be coming on a little bit later. Landy's coming on. She's running a little bit behind, but she will be joining us later. Welcome, Cleo, to the show.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Diani, for sending me that invitation to co-host with you guys today. And I do that on Fridays for a program that is called Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring. So it's my pleasure to be among you queens this evening, and I know that this is going to be a very wonderful show. It could be a touchy one, but at the same time, very uplifting to our viewers. So thank you.
Thank you, Cleopatra. And just for our audience, Cleopatra is filling in for Colleen Landy is joining us later. Cleo is a Jamaican queen living in the US. Her last name is Coward. There's nothing coward about this woman. I've had a chance to work close to her. She stays true to her roots and culture, a mother of 5, and is a recent graduate certified in nursing. She's a president and main host of her own show, Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring, and you can hear Cleo's show on Friday nights. We're going to talk later on to Miss Buckley and to see how Kalyan is doing and how we can be of assistance to the family. But ladies, it's been a week. Hermie, you're in New York. What's going on in your world, sis?
Oh my gosh, what's going on in my world? Not too much, but sleep, rest. I definitely got some rest. I slept. Oh my God, and I overindulged in Caribbean cuisine, guys. So I live in Texas, so we don't have the luxury of just going outside there and just get some beef patties and and some oxtails and stuff. So all week I've been eating green bananas and codfish and beef patties and oh my God, all the delicacies from the Caribbean. So I think today I overdosed because I had some coffee and I think it spiked my sugar level. So I'm kind of like windy right now. But I'm enjoying myself and I'm definitely going to rest this week. I'm not going to eat too much.
I see all the pictures you're posting, girl. Like I'm loving it.
Yes. So I didn't really catch up. Nothing didn't stick out to me this week, other than just the rise in the COVID that I was kind of worried about, because every time I think about going outside, I have to be like, oh no, I'm quarantined. I'm in quarantine. I can't go anywhere. Like me and Derek talking about Thanksgiving. Oh, this. I'm like, no. We can't have people coming over. They said 10 people, and no, that's gonna put me at risk. Like we can't do that. So everything is squashed to like just us in the house. So it's just kind of I'm like a little nervous with the spike, and in Texas now I think they said we are the number 1 state with COVID. Right.
So
now.
I need to put up my shield, Hermie.
But I did take my COVID test before I came here, and I'm gonna take one before I leave again.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
so
that's good.
I'm trying to protect myself. So I'm just kind of worried about that. Just like, oh my God, like, is this getting worse?
Mm-hmm.
But that's all that's going on in my world. Nothing exciting.
I think that's exciting. I mean, you're in New York with your boo.
Yeah.
You're all booed up. What do you mean nothing exciting?
Yeah, I'm a lot of cuddling, and watching Netflix Christmas movies. I don't know if anybody's in Christmas movies right now. I love Christmas movies. I wish I had your tree, Victoria, so I could have your tree, and then I could drink some coffee. And snuggle up with your sweater and just enjoy more movies. So that's I have Derek watching romantic Christmas movies.
Nice. And because you mentioned Victoria, because I love the sweater, and she's giving me a whole vibe with the tree in the background. Victoria, what's going on in your world, darling?
Other than everyone's going through the whole COVID situation, but I want to bring up a recent article about Monique Samuels. I don't know if you guys know about her, but she actually had an article about her relationship, and it was based on her calling her husband daddy now, and being submissive. So, I mean, the daddy part for me was a little weird. I don't know, like, I can't see me calling my husband daddy. I mean, as grown as I am, I still call my father daddy. Like, I still call him by that. So it's kind of weird. But being the submissive part, I totally understand what she was talking about throughout her article, about how she likes her relationship. She likes that her husband takes charge, and he basically takes care of her, and she feels like a lady and pampered. And I know a lot of people, they get turned off when they hear the word submissive, because it has a lot of negativity with that word. But I don't see it being a bad thing, because sometimes, you want to be pampered and you want to feel like a lady, and you just want the man to take charge. So that article is pretty interesting. I mean, like I said, I'm not really into the whole calling your husband daddy or your significant other. I don't know, but what do you think?
I don't know. Cleopatra, are you going to call your significant other daddy? I don't know.
I have done it before, but
I have done
it before, but it's like more in a more romantic way. It's
In
not
a
like the
romantic
sense where she's saying that she didn't have a dad. Not in that sense for me. I guess it was just like, something trying something different in a romantic way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know. See, the problem is my husband's 10 years my junior. So when I saw this article in the group, Victoria, I texted my husband. I'm like, "Hey, Daddy."
Probably looked at you like, what?
He was like, he says, "Is everything all right?" He said, "Is everything okay?" I was
Right.
like, "Yeah."
I think so. To be honest with you, once or twice the daddy word did slip out, but it didn't. It had no relationship to like my father at all. You
Right.
know,
Mhm.
it was kind of like more of like he did like so much things for me that week or that month or that day, and I don't know where it came from, like that provider thing, and and
So
it slipped.
I'm curious, Hermie, what were you doing when it slipped out?
Right.
What was going on?
Oh, maybe this is too much for TV, or
Were you in the supermarket?
Yeah, it was too much fun. But that it was because I was against the daddy thing. Like me and my friends would argue, I will never say that, I will never do that. But I didn't want to be a hypocrite and say like I never said
Right.
it. So I've never said it with anyone else, but with Derek I've said it because he's such a provider. So but I don't link it because I remember when my Latina friend was saying it's not linked to your biological father. We're not thinking about our father at all in that because that's our father. But the daddy things come into like the provider thing, like, oh, okay, he's doing the things that he needs to do for me, and I'm feeling in that type of way. But so it slipped out a couple times.
All right. And on that note, if you are just joining us, today's show is a call to action where we're going to be speaking to the mother of Kalyan. She's a Jamaican teenager who was beaten. She's in a coma, and we're going to speak to Kalyan's mom at around the 5:20 mark. In the meantime, we have Queen Cleopatra. What's going on in your world, sis?
A whole lot. I'm busy as a bumblebee. For me, being home due to the COVID thing, pandemic, and my son has to be doing virtual classes. I have to be on top of him. And by the way, yesterday was his birthday. He turned
Oh,
9
happy birthday.
for Daniel. So I wanted to take him somewhere. Didn't get a chance. I was extremely tired because, as you know, I'm also doing the credit consulting. I'm a credit consulting agent as well, so I'm helping people to get their new homes, their dream homes, dream cars, or who just want to have a good credit, maintain it, and
So,
all of that.
Cleo, you should pair up with Victoria because Victoria is a real estate agent. She's selling all of New Jersey love. I mean, she sells houses like it's pancakes.
There you go. So
So
what
you
Right?
definitely,
exactly? So there you go. Networking. So I will. I will. I thank you so much for sharing that information, Danny. So Victoria, look out. I'll be on you like white on rice.
That's okay.
So other than that, there was this article, well, two. One with the little boy in Jamaica who was bitten by the dogs. Don't know if
I
anybody
saw
saw
that. I saw that.
right? And that was very heartrending, like, just to see what, it was, I mean, kind of graphic, but, a child, once it's a child that's involved for me, it breaks my heart. You know what I'm saying? So the other article that I took a look at was the um, poisoning in the Caribbean, with the carcinogen, this how in the Caribbean they use like stuff to help the plants to grow, like sprinkle these chemicals so that the ants or whatever other insects won't destroy these plants. So they're saying that in Martinique they have a lot of cases that could be related to pancreatic cancer. So that was a very interesting article to read about. And for me being a new nurse, that was a highlight for me. So, I just want to tell everyone out there, even in your home, be careful of the certain chemicals that you use. If you could go more plant based, more organic stuff, just watch out for that because what the farmer was saying that they were not told how to use these products or this
Mhm.
particular product. No gloves, no masks, nothing like that. So that's very
Wow.
important.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. And Victoria Valerie Phillips said, I have known spouses that call each other mommy and daddy. If that makes them happy and there's great respect in the relationship, why not? Patricia says, my husband's birthday is today, but he 1 year younger than I am. I just say he has to pay me respect, but I will never call him daddy.
Yeah,
What-
sure.
She won't. So the thing that grabbed me this week was Mia Moxley, the Prime Minister of Barbados. And she gave a really warm Thanksgiving speech. And I thought that was interesting because growing up in Jamaica, we never had Thanksgiving. So to see the Caribbean embracing the US, I thought that was a really nice gesture from Ms. Moxley for just saying, hey guys, have a safe Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw her speech or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
what do you think about it, Hermie?
And that's what prompted me to be cautious when I listened to her speech. As I said, I had all these plans to like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go to the mall, I'm gonna go, because I love going to the mall around Christmas time and looking at the Christmas tree and the decoration and just in getting involved in Christmas. But when I heard her speech, it really made me rethink my plans and be like, something, settle down. I think she even said something to the fact that, let us not really bypass this Thanksgiving, but let us be cautious about this Thanksgiving because we want to live to see our next Thanksgiving, which is 2021. And that really, really, really stuck out to me. I was like, yeah, what's the fuss about this one when I want to see 2021 Thanksgiving? So,
and what? Thanks, Hermie. What struck me with that speech when Prime Minister Moxley talked about the number of people that died in the United States. It is the number of people that's living in Barbados at the time. Like,
yes.
so it's like wiping out an entire island. Wow. 200. I think we're at like 250,000 people that have died. Yeah. So I think if you haven't seen the Mia Moxley, first of all, I love that woman.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen her speech, I encourage you to go ahead and do so.
Very amazing, yes.
And it was very interesting that she compared it to the population of the island. And in the US, we always say, oh, it's not that many, but, for a small island, that could wipe out everyone.
Exactly.
And so it gives you that sense of, wow, this is really dangerous. Like, we need to really protect ourselves.
And yeah, that's wiping out Grenada twice.
My thing, though, I'm a little on the opposing side. I understand that we have a pandemic, we have a virus that's going around, but if I know that my family is well, I mean, it's like taking away from the togetherness, the fellowship. I mean, that can cause depression, I mean, how far do we go? That's what I'm saying. Yes, to protect ourselves and our loved ones, but at the same time, getting together, showing love, enjoying each other. I mean, what do we do? That's
I could say, Cleopatra, in New Jersey, when the pandemic started, there was a family in New Jersey that they all caught it and they showed no symptoms.
Wow.
And they were gathering at a restaurant, and one of their family members, they had it, but they were, asymptomatic, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the problem.
That's how far. I think that's how far you go. Like, you don't go, especially, families with elderly and people with and clear uriners, right? With those compromised immune systems. I think the large gathering this year, I'm bypassing it. I'm not doing anything for Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
I ever did, but I'm not doing anything.
If you're seeing your family like the regular family all the time, then okay, it makes sense. But to gather with lots of people, you come and you come and you come and like a regular.
That was
Thanksgiving.
Victoria. If you see them on a regular basis, then it's a little,
right.
Yeah.
All right, guys. It is 5:20. The question of the day, the hot topic is: should there be enhanced sentencing for adults who abuse, hurt, or harm children, particularly in the Caribbean? So if we have a situation where an adult has harmed a child and the normal sentencing is, say, 5 years, should we enhance it because there's a child involved? That's a question of the day. For those of you who are joining us, we're going to be talking to Miss Venetia Buckley on the other side of the break. Her daughter, Kalyan, 17 years old, was attacked. Listen, if anybody did beat up my pitney, I don't know one that tell me, say,
Don't it?
Me don't know. Me don't know. That's what me say. But we're gonna talk to Miss Buckley to find out how she's doing, how Kaylan's doing. And in the meantime, guys, like and share and thank you for joining us. We'll see you right after the break. It looks like we're not having a break today. I think we're the break. There's no break today.
Oh no.
Oh,
And I think Miss Buckley is coming in, but are we having a break? No break? Well, let's just bring Miss Buckley in. Miss Buckley, hello, Miss Buckley, and welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. So, thank you for
very much.
joining us. I really appreciate you joining us. For those of you that are joining us, Miss Buckley is the mother of Kalyan Dowdy. Kalyan
Right.
is 17 years old. She was beaten, stabbed, Miss Buckley,
Yes, in the neck.
in the
Wow.
neck at a party in Kingston, Jamaica on November 7th, 2020.
Right.
According to the media, Kalyan was beaten after one woman said Kalyan looked at her funny.
Right.
That does not even make sense.
No, it
She
does
is
not.
now in a coma. The alleged attackers are 26, 22, and I said alleged 26, 22, 28, 45, and 33. Big woman, right?
Yes, yes.
These are big women. Miss Buckley, welcome to the show and thank you for joining us. Miss
Thank you
Buckley,
for having me.
yes, where were you when you got the call that something had gone terribly wrong with your daughter? Where were you?
I just got home. I was out and I just got in. And as soon as I got in and started undressing, I got the phone call and I just put on back my clothes and left.
So, what was the phone call? Who called you and what did they say?
Her friend called and said, Auntie, something happened and we have to take Kaylan to the hospital. We're at the hospital with Kaylan. So I just said, all right, I'm coming.
So, at some time that evening, Kalyan had gone out, right? You gave Kalyan permission. This is not
Yeah.
no let go loose child. At 17,
No.
she asked you for permission to go somewhere.
And I said yes.
And you tell me why you said yes, because it's during Corona. Tell me why you said yes to
Um,
Kalyan.
Honestly, she hasn't been out in a long while. And she, she's a responsible child and she hasn't been anywhere. And she said, Mommy, me can go please. And just the softness of my heart, me say, all right. And honestly, I regret saying yes. I do regret saying yes. But hey, I can't turn back the hands of time. And it happened.
Wow. And Miss Bucket, tell us a little bit about Kalyan. I know she's in high school. Where does she go to high school? What kind
No,
of child?
she's no longer in high school. She
She's no longer
graduated high school.
at
She's in
17.
pre-U.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about her then.
All right, Kaylan is a very driven little girl. She's fun. She's charismatic. She's the life of the party. She's a very happy child.
Mhm.
Kaylan. She's she's the crazy one. She's the crazy one. She makes everybody laugh. She's fun. She has a lot of friends because of her personality. Her teachers love her. They've all been reaching out to me as well and saying that, oh, she was so nice when she was in my class. Even her teachers are reaching out as well, even though she just started their classes.
Mhm.
And they said so far she's been, a very nice student, and it gives me joy to know that um, I get no complaints. I get no complaints about her. She's not perfect. I do understand that. And, every child gives a little trouble. But overall, I don't have to search for her. I don't have to walk and wonder where she is. If I send her somewhere, she goes where I send her. And, she
Mhm.
comes right back. She's not a problematic child. So, Kaylan she brings me joy. She's funny and quirky, you know.
Mhm. And our
She's
viewers are
very
saying,
driven.
Miss Buckley, the viewers are sending you lots of remarks. They're saying, "Mommy, stay strong," and everything. And as for the viewers, get out the credit cards because this is a call to action. This is not story time. Miss Buckley has a lot of medical bills, and we're posting her GoFundMe link. And before she leaves the show today, we want donations to be made. Landy, Miss Buckley's on the show. Landy, thank you for joining us, love. I know you're running a little bit behind today, but I
Yes,
don't know
I
if you have anything you'd
apologize.
like to ask Miss Buckley with regards to Kaylin, and then I'll let the other ladies talk to you, Miss Buckley, because they want to meet you and talk to you as well.
Well, Miss Buckley, I just wanted to say that I'm so sorry for what has happened to your daughter. And we at here at the top five, we completely sympathize with you and understand that you and your family must be going through so much right now. And I'm glad that you're here to tell the story from your voice so that other young women like your daughter can be saved from similar situations like this.
Yes.
Mhm.
Look, Ms. Berkeley, my name is Hermelin, and I'm a domestic abuse coach. And, violence of any kind should not be condoned or tolerated at
Condone.
all.
Right.
And whether it's domestic abuse, whether it's a violent act. So I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the show to share your story and shed some light on what happened. And definitely your story will be able to help someone else. I wanted to ask you a question here. We understand that all the women who assaulted Kaylin are in police custody. What would you like to say to these grown women?
The only thing I really am just wondering, and I would like to know from them is why. Why would you beat someone to that point? At
Yes,
what point does the human side of you say stop? At which point do you think to yourself, come on, this is another person. This is someone's child.
yeah,
They all have children, right? At which point does the maternal instinct within you say, look, this is not right. I should not be doing this. There, the questions that I have is mostly why questions. How can a person be that
yeah,
heartless and cruel? How do you allow yourself to be that cruel
Mhm.
I think we're having a little bit of technical difficulties with Miss Buckley, but that's not going to stop us this evening. If
Mhm.
you're joining us, Kaylin, 17 years old, was beaten, stabbed. She's in a coma. Cleo, I know you spoke to Miss Buckley on Friday evening. I think she's joining us back now. But Kaylin is in a coma and the medical bills are rising. So the purpose of today's show is a call to action. We've posted the GoFundMe. We've posted the Cash App. That is Kaylin on the screen. Go ahead, Victoria or Hermie. I don't know who has a question for Miss Buckley.
So, Miss Buckley, hi, Miss Buckley. Thank you for joining us on our show. I wanted to ask you, how is your daughter, and how is your daughter, and what type of injuries she sustained?
um well, she's on a ventilator. She's not breathing at all for herself. The machine is breathing 100% for her. The part of the brain that it regulates her breathing, that's not working. The part that regulates her motor skills, that's not working at all. So she's not moving hands or feet.
Wow.
Um, they suspect a lesion in between the brain and the spinal column, the spinal cord, that is hampering her, her responses. There's bruising in the brain. There's air in the brain. There's, you know, a lot. Trust me.
Mhm.
There's a lot going
Mhm.
on.
Mhm. We have a lot of
Um,
comments coming in from the viewers. That Chiron Alexander said prayers up for Kaylin and her miracle will come down. And mom, stay strong. God will definitely give you strength. There's a lot of love in this chat room for your daughter, and I'm sure around the country. So we're all pulling for her.
One question I want to ask you, like Diony said, Miss Buckley, I spoke to you on Friday night, and you and I have built a relationship out of this. And what kind of relationship
right.
that existed between you and Kaylin? And with that being said, how does it make you feel now that she's in the hospital, laying down away from you?
Wow. Me and Kaylan's relationship is more than just mother and daughter. God removed a lot of people from my life, and He placed me in a corner by myself, and that made me find Kaylan. I found her not just as a daughter, but as a friend, as a companion. She was loyal. Trust me, she's 100% loyal. She always has my back. People would not know that we can sit and talk about any and everything. Sometimes she said, Mommy, no man, you need to go get some friends. This you understand? So
Yeah.
the relationship that we have, I I have the passwords to our phone, and my fingerprint is in her phone. I can go into anything that she's in. She does not hide anything from me, no matter how gruesome she might think it is. I want to know because I let her know. Let me tell you something. At the end of the day, when anything should happen to you, it is all going to come down to me. I am going to be the one responsible. I'm going to be the one who has to run all over the place to get everything and anything done. So whatever trouble you're in, whatever is going on with you, let me know first so I can prepare myself to know how to deal with these situations, and I can think and maneuver how to get you out of them. So our relationship was pretty close. We laugh together, we dance together, we watch TV, we eat, we cook, we go out, we do everything together. So it's not, and it reached the point where I never had a yearning or the need to have other friends because me and her got so close that, we became inseparable. And the fact that she's there now is heart wrenching because they took my friend,
Wow.
they took my child, they took my companion, right? And it's not, people might not see me cry on camera because I'm trying to stay strong and God is giving me strength. But I do break down at times, especially when I go to visit her and I see her and then I have to leave her there. That is heartbreaking for me, just to leave her there on her own because I know she needs me. She needs me to be there for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're still having technical difficulties, but um, Victoria and Cleo, you're both nurses. What comes to mind when you hear of the injuries? When you hear Miss Buckley talking about the injuries her daughter had, what comes to your mind? I mean, she stabbed they stabbed her, Miss Buckley, right?
Right, in the neck.
And they hit her with
She did a
Hennessy
surgery on
bottles.
the neck.
Mhm.
Yes,
I think you
several
mean
times over the head. Several times. She
I
was
think,
stomped while she was on the ground. They kicked her, they stomped her. It was when you hear how it took place and how it happened and how everybody stood and watched and how no one tried to help and one person was trying to help, but how much can one person do? But I'm forever grateful for that person because she saved my daughter's life. Because if she had waited a little longer, she would not have been here. Because when she got to the hospital, she passed for 6 minutes. The doctor said she went to cardiac and she was gone for 6 minutes. So if she had stayed a little longer, then the damage would have been irreversible. And for that, I'm ever so grateful. God is so good that she's still here and she's still fighting because Kaylin is a stronger. Kaylin is even stronger than I am. I tell people that all the time because she's always saying, Mommy, you cry too much. Mommy, you're too soft. Mommy, you get too soft, man. She does not, Kaylin is not a crier. If you see Kaylin crying, something must be next to death. Trust me, she don't cry.
Mhm.
and
She's a strong
thank you,
girl.
Miss. And for everybody that's watching, this is not story time. Today is a call to action. Kaylin has been hospitalized since November 7th. I
Right.
grew up in Jamaica. I know what those hospital bills and aftercare is going to look like. This is only
Right.
the tip. We have posted the GoFundMe, and I'm going to ask our producers in the back to post the link again in case those that are joining us a little bit late. Today is begging. Miss Buckley, I know you don't want to come and beg. Me, I go beg for you. Today is about begging. This woman has a ton of bills and they're mounting up. So as much as, yes, I want to hear Kaylan's story, we're going to pay for Kaylan. This is really us asking our communities to help the best way we can. Landy and Cleo, we were talking about And I think there's some feeding in the background. I don't know where that's
Yeah, I
coming
don't know where
from.
it's coming from. A bit of feedback. I'm
A
hearing
little
it.
bit of feedback too. We apologize to the audience. But Landy
Mm.
and Cleo, as nurses, when you hear about those injuries, tell us even the toll the family goes through, or what because Miss Buckley, I know, is going to that hospital every single day.
Mm.
Tell us some of the toll, ladies. You're both nurses.
Landy, you want to go first?
Mm. Sure. Well, first of all, I'm just grateful that you're able to go into the hospital.
Yes.
Number one, because we're living in a time when people go into the hospital, you maybe you could kiss them goodbye, maybe they know that you're there, maybe they don't know you're there, but for the most part, because we're living in this time with this pandemic, when you go in, that's it. The person is on their own. So the fact that you're there and you've spoken about how you're so connected to your daughter and you have such a great relationship with her, I'm praying that she's able to feel that and hold on to that, right? In regards to the injuries that she has, they are very, very serious injuries. And there could be a lot of internal bleeding or a lot of changes. And I don't want to sound negative, so I'm not going to go there. But I'm just saying to you, they are very, very serious damages that could come after the fact. But God is good and miracles can happen. I'm never going to discount that. I've seen people be in very dire situations and they make recoveries that doctors can't even understand. So the good thing is that you're able to be there. Hopefully she's in good hands at the hospital. Keep a watchful eye. If there's one thing that I'm happy for is that you're able to be there, because there's nothing better than having a mother who's there to watch and say, "What are you doing? My daughter needs this. Come here. She's doing this." You need somebody to do that, because when you have nobody, you are left alone. There's nobody watching the behavior. There's nobody calling that nurse. The fact that you're able to do that, make sure you stand in her corner and make sure you let them be aware of everything. Let them know that you're that kind of mother that's going to be on top of their back. So they know that they need to walk carefully in your circle.
And I just want to add, very great points, Landy. I just want to add, like you said, the damages are, things that could be what we don't want. But like you said, I firmly also believe in a supreme being, and on the spiritual side, that miracles can happen. Last night we did have a vigil for her at 11 and midnight, and along with the begging that we're begging this evening, we're also asking you please to continue to pray with us, continue to pray, uplift Kaylin. Now we know that with Kaylin or any sick person, even if they're going through the death process, the hearing is the last thing that goes. So, mommy, like I said to you, continue to speak to her when you go there. She will hear you. And like Landy said, she will draw the positive energy from all of us, because we know the atmosphere, we know the universe. Once we put out that positive energy, she will get it. I mean, things can happen like, the cardiac arrest. These are things that she could go on because if blood is not flowing properly or she's lacking blood, or like the lungs right now. But good thing, I don't know if Miss Buckley said it, but her BP has been stabilized and is getting better. So we thank God for that. Okay. So that's just a great news as well. And just hang in there, Kaylin, she's gonna make it. The fact that you're there for her on a daily basis, just continue to speak to her. We know the grieving process, the denial, it's well DABDA. I have an acronym. The denial, the acceptance, the anger, the bargaining, the depression, and the acceptance. So we know that it could flip any which way, but just hang in there. We're here with you. We're standing in the gap. We're interceding, for Kaylin, and that's what I have to say.
And I know, Miss Buckley, you talked earlier on this week about how lovely the nurses. I was watching you, how lovely the nurses have been. You want to say shout out to any of those nurses at the University of the West Indies Hospital?
No.
We're not hearing Miss Buckley, the volume.
Probably should on mute.
Oh, sorry,
Okay,
the mic was
good.
muted. I'm not
That's
a phone
fine.
person. Kaden always say, "Mommy, you're a real phone idiot." Yes. I'm going to be honest. Yes, the nurses and the doctors have been beautiful. They have been a gem. They're just always there. Whenever I get there, they're always by her side. They're always at her door. They're watching her. They're attentive. You know, if I ask a question, they can always give me an answer. It's there, and I'm not getting a I don't know or we are not sure, or you know, they're doing what they're supposed to do. So when I ask questions, they can give me answers, and you know, I'm forever grateful because you know I can't be there 24/7 because of the COVID. There's a restricted time span that I can spend with her. And you know, the time that I'm not there, it's good to know that I can rest assured that she's in good hands. You know, the doctors, they're regular, they're very frequent. I see them a lot. So, you know, they're not neglecting her. And I am for it, trust me. They mean the world to me right now because apart from being in God's hands, in the spiritual, she's in the physical in their hands, right? And you know, I appreciate them.
And
I appreciate them.
that's good. Compassionate nurses, we never have too many of
Yes.
them. So even as a new nurse,
Trust
I
me.
learned that therapeutic communication is key. You have to be compassionate. You have to be empathetic. And it's okay as a nurse to cry as well because we get attached to our patients as well. So I'm
Right.
happy that you have a great team working with her.
Right.
Yep.
Well, I just wanted to say we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have one of the attorneys. They're going to speak about also this case, and hopefully everyone stays tuned in. Do not leave the show. Continue to like and share, and also donate. We're putting the link up there. Continue to donate because you know what? She needs a lot of help, and it's a lot of money to keep this thing going. So we'll be right back.
Hey, I got some good news for you. Looking for a passionate immigration lawyer with experience that spans over 2 decades? Someone trusted that served immigrant families just like yours? Well, look no more. Now you can benefit from her personal and professional experience. Diane Winter Funde. Schedule a consultation now and get assistance with your immigration journey. Specialize in adjustment of status, B1 business visa, B2 visitors visa, consular processing, deportation defense, naturalization, and more. Give us a call today at 813-815-3529. That's 813-815-3529 or online at winterimmigration.com. Attorney Diane Winter Funde, law done differently.
Come in.
Welcome back.
I'm sorry about that. The attorney's just coming in. Sorry about that. Go ahead, Victoria.
So joining us today is attorney Kevin Miller. He's an attorney in the United States, a former criminal prosecutor, a former Jamaica Defense Force police officer. Attorney Miller was recently called to the Jamaican bar as well. So thank you so much for joining us, Attorney Miller. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
How are you today?
I'm good, thanks. How are you, ladies?
Good.
Great.
Blessed and highly favored.
Blessed and there you go. Blessed and highly favored.
Okay.
All right. So, Attorney Miller, thank you for joining us. We understand that you've done a lot of prosecuting work here in the United States, but you're a former police officer in Jamaica. Tell us a little bit about the charges. I know all 4 women have been arrested. Tell us about those charges and what kind of criminal journey, Ms. Buckley is going to be on as this case shakes out in the Jamaican court system.
All right. So, as far as I can gather, these women were charged for unlawful wounding as well as wounding with intent. And therefore, this would have been as a result of the officer's observation and I assume a collaboration with the authorities at the DPP's office because they work hand in hand and they would have come up with these charges. And I know a lot of people might be saying, a lot of persons might be saying that these charges seem pretty light. But if we should look at unlawful wounded, so to speak, it might seem like a simple charge, but it can carry a prison sentence of up to life without hard labor. That's what's on the books. Now we have to understand that in bringing these charges against these individuals, then there must be some kind of medical report from the doctors indicating the type of injuries that this victim would have sustained. And based on the injuries, then a determination can be made as to which level or what level would they proceed in regards to the charges. So while a lay person might be out there and saying, this would be attempted murder or something to that effect, one of the things that we have to understand is that as prosecutors or former prosecutors, we were told and we were taught from day one not to overcharge. Because when we overcharge, you give the public some kind of hope that we have this great crime, these great charges, but the evidence itself is not there to support these charges. So coming back to this case, without knowing much about the evidence, I presume that wounding with intent and unlawful wounding would have been brought based on the evidence that is at hand to support these charges.
Thank you, Attorney Miller. Cleo, sorry, I know you had a question for Attorney Miller. I'm sorry to cut in.
Yes, thank you so much for allowing me, Diani. So in addition, this is for you, attorney. In addition, we have discovered that these individuals who have been arrested, they have retained counsel in the likes of QC, Peter Champagne. We all know that name, right? What I want to ask you, is this a slam dunk case for the prosecution?
And I wouldn't say it's a slam dunk case. And as I said before, without knowing much about the evidence, then it would be remiss of me to say whether or not it's a slam dunk case. Now, it doesn't matter at the end of the day, if the evidence is not there, then the prosecutor is going to have a hard time proving their case. At the end of the day, what we need to understand is that when a state or a state agency, when they bring these charges, the defense has little to do, and let me explain why. Because the defense doesn't have to prove anything. It's the state that has to prove their case. So whatever game plan that the defense team, Mr. Champagne and his team might have or going into this, well, we don't know yet whether or not there's going to be a trial. But in approaching this case, his defense is going to be based on what evidence that the state would have when they brought these charges. So to say it would be a slam dunk, it wouldn't be fair of me to say so without knowing. And even then, a prosecutor can put on a good...
Counselor, wouldn't the injuries speak for themselves? It's like law school 101, res ipsa loquitur. The injuries are going to speak for themselves. We heard Ms. Buckley earlier talked about Kalyan was stabbed. She didn't stab herself. She hit in the head with a bottle. So shouldn't that be a slam dunk walk where these people, and I too was shocked. I was looking for like attempted murder. That's what I was looking for in the charges. And I'm glad to hear that the charges carry up to life. I didn't realize the punishment.
So unlawful is serious, so it carries up to a certain amount. But when you're talking about attempted murder and murder, so to speak, then there are higher elements that has to be met. Malice aforethought, all those things will have to be met. So it would not be fair to the system to bring these charges knowing that the evidence itself is not there to support it. Now you're talking about the type of injuries that this young lady would have sustained. Again, it goes back to the medical report. We might hear things on the media, we might hear things being said all over the place, but it goes back to the medical report. What is it that the doctors are saying? Are these injuries, were these life-sustaining injuries? Were these injuries, are these injuries going to impact her going down in the future? So we have to analyze all those things and then bring these charges together. Now, you're saying that she was stabbed. She was all of these happened, and it wasn't done by her. Obviously, it was done by other folks. But as simple as you might, as simple as it might sound, the prosecutor still has to do his or her job. They still have to meet each and every element of the particular offense. So it's not a slam dunk case on either party.
Wow.
And with that explanation, thank you for explaining that to us and the viewers so that we understand how a case in such a situation works. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And I want to bring Miss Buckley back in because Miss Buckley, there are people out there that are saying, should Kalyan be at a party like this? What are your thoughts to that, Miss Buckley? I know earlier you said she was doing really well. This was a treat. What would you say to those people? And Hermie, I'm going to bring you back in because people like to blame victims, and I hate that approach.
Mhm.
What would you say, Miss Buckley?
You know, I was going to parties younger than Kalyan. Most of who are saying this have been going to parties younger than Kalyan. Remember, Kalyan, yes, she might not be 18 as yet, but she's out of high school. She's attending uni, and she's pretty responsible.
Mhm.
She wasn't on her own. She wasn't by herself. Didn't send her by herself,
Mhm.
It was a bunch of them. There were others there that was in her age group, right?
Mhm.
And it wasn't a case where Kalyan went out by herself, going out by herself, doing things by herself. It was a group of young people that went out.
Mhm.
So, yes, she's not 18, and I take responsibility for that. I will never try to deny or try to blame or put blame on anybody else, because the first person I blamed was myself, right? Because I could have said no. She has gone to other places. She came back in one piece. Nothing happened, because despite the fact, even if she's not 18, that gives nobody the right to attack her. That gives nobody the right to beat her or stab her or kick her. That's not an excuse. People are just trying to find excuses for being cruel.
That's right.
Nobody should do that to nobody at all, whether she was 18 or not. It should not have been done. And it's sad that people, when they do something as horrible as this, they're trying to blame the victim, or they're trying to say, oh, if she was not there, why would she support anywhere she wants to be? She has the right to be. Everybody should learn to coexist. Everybody should learn to coexist.
Yeah.
And nobody's supposed to be attacking anybody.
Mhm.
So,
Yes.
it's shame. It's a shame
Mhm.
that we find the latter to complain about, instead of looking on the major problem of violence and crime and eluding justice, hiding from the law, all of these things, that play a major part in all that went down. And people are trying to find small things, nitpicking on me, on Kalyan,
Of
things that
course.
are irrelevant at the moment, that can't help, and neither the case nor her situation. It should not have happened, whether she was 18 or whether she was 25 years old. And the fact that it's a pattern that they have, so it's not something that has happened the first time with these women.
Mhm.
And that is the issue. They're criminals.
Wow.
And I'm gonna commend you, Miss Buckley, for being such an outspoken mother. I was 14, 15, 16 going to parties in Jamaica, right? So I commend you for
Exactly.
being strong, for being outspoken, for being resolute, meaning you're not wavering in Kalyan's defense. And we need
No.
more mothers. We need more mothers like you that are willing to say, look, back off of my child, back off my child. Hermie, go ahead, darling.
Yes, Ms. Brookie, I agree with you because in cases like this, we tend to want to blame the victim. We want to, like sometimes I see it as we want to take responsibility from the perpetrator and put it on the victim. So we have an excuse to say why she was there, why she wasn't there, why she wrote this, why she said this. And I just wanted to give the definition of victim blaming. It occurs when we assume that an individual did something to provoke the violence. It whether is what action, words, or the way the person dressed, and it does not matter. This should not happen at all. And I want
Right.
like the audience to know like we need to stop blaming the victim and look at the people, the perpetrators that acted in that way. It's five individuals beating on a 17-year-old for a long period of time. And so now we just look to just come up with excuses why that person deserve this, or why she should, she, provoked it in some way. And I want to just say, victim blaming can lead to depression, anxiety, PTSD, as well as suicide. So let us all be empathetic and be compassionate for when victims go through that, whether it's domestic violence or whether it's a violent act, that we refrain from asking certain questions and stick to what happened and who did what. And for you, Attorney Miller, I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Putting aside victim blaming, do you in the future, do you think any charges will be brought against Kalyan in the future on this particular case?
Well, based on what and before I answer your question, I just wanted to clear up something I said earlier in regards to the unlawful wounding and the penalty that it carries. The one I spoke of, which would carry up to life, would be as a result of if there were any weapons such as guns or anything that were involved. Now, based on what I'm seeing, the unlawful wounding that they were charged with would carry a max of 3 years. So my corrections with that,
Wow.
as opposed to the one that would carry his life if gun or anything was involved. Now, to get back to what you're saying in terms of whether or not any charges would be brought against what's her name, Kalyan?
Kalyan. Kalyan.
Legal charges.
Yeah, I don't want to butcher her name. Now, it goes back to the investigation. Now, if you have 5 ladies beating up on one young lady, then it would appear that the 5 cannot claim self-defense, number one.
Right.
Anybody who would be claiming self-defense would be Kalyan. Now, the investigation, based on what I've seen so far, I don't foresee, and as I said, I'm not privy to the evidence, but I don't foresee any charges that could be brought against her. Are they going to be charging her for being at the party as 17-year-old? Then they would have to go back and charge all the 17-year-olds. So,
Okay.
right. So I don't see any charges based on what I'm looking at now. And as I said, we have to speak knowing that we don't know what the evidence, what the investigation will unfold later down. But based on what you're seeing in the naked eyes, based on what we're hearing in the media, then I don't foresee any charges against this poor victim, because she would have been battered by these 5 women. And that's why she sustained all the injuries that she has sustained. And there's no way that the 5 can claim, or whoever among that 5 can claim any kind of self-defense.
Thank you, Attorney Miller. And it's 5:59, and we're coming to that time. We're gonna thank Attorney Miller and Miss Buckley for joining us. We're gonna ask Miss Buckley. We're gonna put you in the back room, Attorney Miller. If you're free to go, we want to thank you for joining us. And for those of you that are just joining us, take out the money and donate, please. We need to donate $5, $1, $20, $30. It doesn't matter. All right, guys. So go ahead and help us however you can so we can donate. Ladies, it's the end of another show. It's Thanksgiving. 30 seconds or less. Hermie, what are you thankful for?
To be alive.
Cleo, what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful that during this pandemic, things have been working out for me. I have launched new businesses, launched my program, Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring, and my kids are with me.
Victoria, 30 seconds or less. What are you thankful for?
I'm so thankful for health and strength.
Landy?
I am grateful for being able to breathe.
Yeah.
Just basic breathing is the biggest gift for me right now. With so much bad things happening all around, just knowing that when, if I wake up tomorrow morning, I have the chance to do something good and make a
And
difference.
thank you. And to our audience, tell us what you're thankful for. I am thankful that the start of this year, I did not know four beautiful women, right? For Landy, Victoria, Colleen, Hermie, we've become sisters, right? And
Yes, yeah.
I think I am giving thanks for that, because I started out the year not knowing you, and now we've adopted Cleo in our circle. From all the women at Top 5 to our audience listening, we want to say have a happy, happy, happy Thanksgiving. We want to say a special thank you to attorney Kevon Miller and Miss Buckley for joining us. And until next time, everybody, see you next week and walk good. Thanks, everybody, for joining us.
Thank you everyone
Bye.
for
Bye,
joining.
everyone. Stay safe.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. Have a good week. Bye-bye.